The transmission ended mid-sentence. 23 of Earth's brightest mind scientists, researchers, and peaceful explorers were stationed on Drelvos 4 to study alien flora. Then, without warning, they vanished. No distress signal. Number. Bodies, just a blackened camp in a crater where their lab used to be. Earth's military intelligence reviewed the footage in stunned silence. This wasn't an accident. It was an execution. Diplomacy was off the table. A response had to be made fast, silent, and unmistakable. But this mission wasn't suited for squads or special forces. It required something colder, smarter, invisible. So they deployed the one asset not listed on any official record. Number. Call sign, no backup. Just a whisper in the system. Send the operator. The skies over Drelvos 4 were clear the night the research team disappeared. The 23-member expedition was stationed at Outpost V-17, nestled in a verdant basin surrounded by massive fungal towers, each glowing faintly under the alien moonlight. For 6 months, Earth's brightest scientists studied the native flora and fauna, unlocking potential breakthroughs in bioengineering and medicine. Their latest find, a rapidly regenerative plant they dubbed Arxeles, showed promise as a natural solution to cellular decay. Excitement buzzed across research channels back on Earth. Then, all communication ceased. The last log received was from Dr. Lena Gorin, timestamp 2:57 local time. She was mid-sentence, describing a strange static anomaly on their external sensors when the signal cut. No emergency beacon. No distress signal. Just nothing. The blackout lasted 22 minutes before a satellite pass confirmed the worst. Outpost V-17 was gone, flattened, burned, no life signs. What concerned Earth Command wasn't just the loss of scientists. It was the precision. The destruction had surgical intent. Files were wiped. Storage drives melted. Even DNA traces were minimal. This wasn't an accident. It was an assassination. A silencing. Drelvos 4 was a neutral world under Terran alien concord. Weapons weren't allowed on research grounds, which meant the attackers had violated every interstellar treaty in place. But a formal protest would take weeks. Military deployment, even longer. And whoever had done this would be long gone by then. So Command authorized something different. They opened Protocol Black Light. And from a database known only to a select few within Earth intelligence, they pulled one operative. No official name, no unit, no rank, just a field tag. Ashfall. Ashfall wasn't listed in any public database. His past was compartmentalized across over a dozen different agencies, each with partial data, none complete. Rumors suggested he had once led infiltration missions on rogue colonies where even the air turned on intruders. Others whispered about how he ended the Four Sons Rebellion alone. The truth? Unconfirmed. But his results were undeniable. Every operation he touched ended with quiet finality. He was the kind of asset governments deny even to themselves. The one they call when plausible deniability is the mission. Ashfall was brief with a single line of text. Outpost V-17. All personnel Kia. High-value research compromised. Deniable recovery and response authorized. No extraction window. He read it once and burned the file. His only request: a drop pod, a recon drone, a neural sync combat rig, and full operational autonomy. It was granted without hesitation. He landed on Drelvos 4 30 hours after the last transmission. The atmosphere was breathable with light filtration. The jungle had already begun reclaiming the site. Where the labs once stood, only scorched ground remained. Bioscanners picked up faint traces of burned protein compounds. What remained of human bodies after a directed energy purge? Ashfall moved like a shadow through the ruins, scanning with a multispectrum drone that flew 6 meters ahead. No power. Signatures, but he found a strange pattern in the destruction precise. Localized heat signatures that suggested high-frequency plasma tools. Not military standard. Mercenary. More telling was the residue left behind. Engineered pheromones, detectable only by advanced spectrography. A form of chemical cloaking often used by elite alien assassins from the Rovian Syndicate, a known black market faction operating beyond lawful star territories. Ashfall activated a stealth node in his rig and began tracking. For 3 days, he followed the trail. It led through bioluminescent marshes, fungal forests, and abandoned mining tunnels left by earlier colonists. He avoided native predators by masking his thermal signature. He didn't sleep. He ate nutrient bars as he moved. On the 4th night, he found them. 7 Rovian assassins gathered around a cloaked transport ship. They were humanoid, but with elongated limbs, their eyes replaced with multifaceted sensors. Silent, precise, lethal. They were transmitting data. Ashfall tapped into their frequency with a decrypted comms node. The packets were compressed DNA, strings, genetic blueprints of Arxeles. The assassins weren't just killers. They were harvesters. Stealing research Earth had spent billions to obtain. He needed confirmation. So he waited until one of the Rovians separated from the group to scout. It never returned. Ashfall interrogated it in silence, using neural prompts. The alien resisted, but its mind cracked under pressure. The contractor? Galtech Dominion, a powerful corporate state known for manipulating galactic regulations and profiting from stolen technologies. Earth had warned them before. This was their answer. Ashfall sent a brief pulse signal to Earth Command. Confirmed, Galtech involved. No survivors. Then he went to work. The first assault was surgical. A precision rail shot pierced the Rovian commander's skull before he even registered movement. 2 others dropped in quick succession, their cloaking fields flickering violently as they hit the ground. The remaining 4 scattered, but Ashfall wasn't a soldier playing war. He was a predator. He stalked them one by one. Traps, ambushes, silent knives under alien stars. His drone tracked heat, heart rate, muscle tension. Every movement optimized for minimum noise, maximum lethality. By dawn, all 7 were dead. He hacked their ship's core, wiped the navigation logs, and triggered a meltdown. Then, he vanished again. But he wasn't done. Gal-Tech had made this personal. Ashfall followed the comms trail back to a relay station buried beneath an old Dominion mining facility, abandoned, supposedly. In reality, it was a black site, hidden beneath layers of bureaucratic misdirection and false planetary scans. Inside were 27 Galtech contractors, ex-military, cybernetically enhanced, armed. Ashfall infiltrated the site during a synthetic storm. His rig shielded him from detection. His neural net mapped the compound in real time. He disabled power at 2:13 local time. At 2:14, he started killing. None of them stood a chance. He used their own security systems against them, locking blast doors, rerouting oxygen, using vented coolant as cover. At 3:01, only the facility director remained. Ashfall dragged him to the central console, forced a retinal scan, and accessed every file tied to the Drelvos operation. It had been planned for months. The goal was to eliminate Earth's presence and claim exclusive rights to Arxeles. The research team had never stood a chance. Galtech had hired the Rovians to make it look like a rogue alien act, hoping to avoid full-scale war. They hadn't accounted for him. Ashfall left the director tied to a collapsing beam, triggered a timed explosive, and walked out as the facility caved in. His final transmission was a data burst containing every file he recovered, encrypted, authenticated, and laced with enough proof to trigger galactic sanctions on Gal-Tech. He ended with one line: mission complete, no further action required. Earth Command received the transmission and filed it under Deep Archive. There was no press release, No broadcast. The families of the scientists were told the truth, partially. Rogue assassins. Tragic loss. Investigation ongoing. Officially, Ashfall never existed. Unofficially, Galtech withdrew from 5 contested worlds within a week. And on Drelvos 4, a new research team quietly began rebuilding Outpost V-17. But this time, the perimeter was guarded by drones. Camouflage towers. Sensors hidden in the trees. And an unmarked satellite constantly scanned the jungle below. Because Earth had learned a lesson that day. Peace is precious. But when it breaks, you don't send an army, you send a ghost. Ghost.